Just me this week for intro. Your father, Amelia, of course, loves you very, very much, but couldn't make it to this one. All I really wanted to pop in and say at the top of the episode here is that if you are not watching this particular arc of Unprepared Casters, Jacob's Ladder, in video format, you are missing out. We recorded this in person, Amelia and I, staring at each other from the same table. If you are a patron of ours, if you're with us at patreon.com/unpreparedcasters, it's the name of the show, you can get these episodes in video version 2 days before the public release, the Friday before the public release. But even if you're not with us on Patreon, you can still see the video on the day of public release on our YouTube channel. We're just Unprepared Casters over there as well. You can't miss us. Next week is our nap week. I don't know what sort of holiday figures one finds in August. You might just have to decide what our nap week is yourself. But we will not see you next week. Instead, we will see you with the finale of Jacob's Ladder. There's another 3-episoder on September 2nd. Monday, September 2nd. Unless, of course, you are a patron on Patreon, you'll be getting the finale on Friday, August 30th. And I'm so excited to give it to you, and I'm even more excited for you to hear this episode. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Unprepared Casters, Jacob's Ladder. I am your GM, Amelia Som. You can still use any pronouns for me, and who is with me at this very table?
It's me, Haley Whip Jack. You can also use any pronouns for me that fit your various flights of fancy. And I am here to play Constance Gable, God Killer. A haunted garden witch of sorts.
Yeah.
On a little mission, a little godling.
On a little adventure that she's very excited about because she loves traveling and leaving the house.
She loves adventures. She loves heroics. Mm-hmm. She loves altruism.
Yes.
She loves
being the center of attention.
Being looked at. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damsels.
Yeah.
Also.
Telling long, intense personal stories.
Yes.
Making lots of eye and physical contact with others.
Yeah, I think I said in episode 0 that she's bad at eye contact, but then I found myself staring so intensely at you.
You were, in fact, staring very intensely.
So I think I was wrong. I think she makes a lot of eye contact.
I think it's either all or nothing.
Yeah. But I certainly trended towards a lot of eye contact.
Right. I still don't know what the normal amount is, like personally.
I'll never learn. No, I'm sitting across from you right now. I think that might just be me who doesn't know how much eye contact
I don't know. Am I doing too much?
No, I think you're good, but I am going to blame Constance if mine is too much.
Okay. I haven't noticed anything.
Amazing.
It's great. We're so good at this. Yeah, so in addition to lots of eye contact on our last episode, let's kind of recap what happened. We were introduced to Constance, who found out that something was up. It seems that not only is everything not dying, but everything is growing and regenerating at an unprecedented rate. Mm-hmm. After seeing that in your own garden, you got a little worried.
A touch.
And decided after several days of trying to pretend that maybe this was some kind of normal thing, you decided to reach out to your neighbor, Dev.
Yes.
Who seemed also confused about what was going on, less actively worrying about it. Dev is more of the kind of person who's like, yeah, this is just same shit, different day. I'm just gonna kind of go along with it, and indicated that at least other people in the town and people who'd visited town had also experienced similar issues. You went back home, began conducting some experiments to see if you could ascertain anything about the nature, which you basically couldn't. It just kept happening. It was getting worse, and it affected everything, with one exception. This little rosemary plant seems to be the only thing capable of still dying.
So now I have to keep it alive. It's my best friend.
Your best friend is a tiny rosemary plant that you neglected to water for a little while.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I won't forget anymore.
No, you're paying very close attention.
Right.
So it can blend in with all the other plants that are alive, and it won't feel nervous when it goes to plant school.
Well, I don't want any of the other plants to think that it is different or weird or unsettling or haunted in any way. For
Right.
no reason in particular.
For no reason.
I do want all of the other plants to think that my plant is normal and friendly and approachable.
The plant that you made a little holster sling for to carry around on your person.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. And so you also were visited by, I guess, an old family friend.
My aunt.
Your aunt, sure. Your aunt Pia, who cleaned up your house for you in your absence when you went out to the ocean to scream internally at the state of things.
Thank you. I don't scream.
And yeah, it was just a silence, a very loud silence.
A very pointed silence, I would say.
Yeah, upon seeing that Pia had visited you, even though she does not know where you live, your mom does not know where you live, and presumably anyone who had known you in your youth, when you left, you did not inform.
No.
You thought that was odd.
A touch.
You kind of looked at Pia a bit more intently than usual. And got a little alarm bell when you realized a lot of things that you had brushed off in your youth and adolescence started to not make quite as much sense. And you saw a bit of Pia's divinity as the keeper. Who loves mass.
Yes.
But also loves keeping them clean and organized. Who alluded to the fact that she could not help you as much as she wished, but gave you a name and a cardinal direction in which to head.
Well, she couldn't give me those things.
She couldn't. Oh, that's so true.
That would get her in trouble.
That would get her in trouble if people knew that she was meddling.
That's right.
Which people? Hard to say.
All of them, I assume.
Every single person on the earth. Yeah. So she did not give you a name. She did not give you a cardinal direction, and she did not tell you goodbye. And after that, on a completely unrelated note, you decided to head south, packing up your belongings for the first time since you settled outside of this village. And you were off. Okay, so we're going to kind of handle a little bit of a time skip. I'm going to ask you a question, which is, how does Constance approach this? You have been given south and, sorry, not given. You're heading south. You're looking.
I've not been given the directions.
Yeah, I gotta keep on top of that. That's on me. That's on me. I'm so sorry.
You're gonna get Pia in trouble.
I'm gonna get Pia fired. Oh my god. What does Constance do? What's your mode of attack?
Oh, well, I go south.
Yeah, you start heading south. You are currently Malum. Archipelago.
Islands.
Around a crater.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a broken circle. Sorry, I just remembered I'm holding my hands up so you can see the map, but it's going to be inverted for you.
Oh, okay.
So this is your east.
Yeah.
Over here. You are kind of up here on this top part of Malum.
That's right.
Are you just going to go straight south? You could go, if you wanted to go directly south, you go straight through the ocean if you could find a ship that would be willing to travel. If you wanted to go along the curved part of Malum, there aren't many volcanoes in this area. Those are further west.
Yeah.
There's mountains and jungles and towns. You're near the northernmost part or the northern outer edge.
Yeah.
You could hug the outer coastline. You could go inward, hug the inner coastline as you head south.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go south to the next town? South to the bottom of the islands?
Okay, I think initial instinct might have been to try and go straight through the ocean.
Yeah.
But I was never told how far south.
Correct.
And there is a chance that I'm going to go to the southernmost point, and that's like way too fucking far.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And then I'm going to feel silly.
Yeah, and that'd be bad.
I think I'd die, yeah.
Yeah.
So instead, I guess it's going to just have to be walking along the edges and not going through the ocean. And unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to stick to places where there's towns. Because I'm going to have to ask people if they know who Viv is.
Right.
I don't know a Viv.
You don't know Viv.
I can't look up Viv.
No, they don't have phone books.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, they did. They phased them out now in favor of the internet.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, there's not going to be, like, posters up. Just like, are you looking for Viv?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask guys.
You're going to have to ask guys.
Have you seen Viv?
Yeah. So, we're going to fast forward. You've been through a couple towns.
Right.
You go, have you seen Viv? And people are like, no, what does she look like?
I don't know.
Do you know age?
Just Viv.
Just Viv. I'm sorry, dearie. I don't think I do.
Anything weird happening?
Kind of looks over and you see a rosebush monstrosity.
Oh.
It is like the size of a small hut. It has grown in and out and around itself. The roses on it have sort of like multiplied in like these sort of spherical things. It is growing in every direction. It looks unsettling. It's kind of like staring at a kaleidoscope of a rose bush, but in person. And they kind of look at that and look back toward you. Nothing unusual.
The same old.
The same old new.
Right. Sorry about that.
Sorry about Viv.
It's okay. Thanks, bye.
Right. And you have several interactions.
Exactly like that.
Exactly like that. As you continue heading southward through all of these villages, you come to one village where the people just seem a little different. As you've moved, it's been an interesting sort of cadence here where everyone freaked out initially. You weren't there for that.
No.
Then everyone kind of got used to what was going on. And then what was going on kept going on. It wore out, stopped being novel and fun. It started being more of a kind of horror. But it seems like people sort of circled back around to being kind of okay with it again. It's been several months and everyone is just, you know, people have figured out, okay, I need to kind of eat, but I can't, you know, the things I eat don't necessarily die. What does that mean? How do I keep things from growing out of my stomach? How do I remind myself to eat when I don't really have the same kinds of hunger cues because everything is different? How do I, you know, oh no, I cut my arm and a second arm is growing out, those sorts of things. There have been several individuals, both divine and mortal, who have become de facto, I guess, information brokers, leaders in some senses. Thought leaders of this new sort of world situation that everyone finds themselves in. To perhaps varying degrees of benefit to those whom they lead. And you sort of find yourself in a town that has been maintained in a relative state of order since the very beginning of this whole thing.
Impressive.
Yeah, it is very impressive. You're just in the town. It's a very small village. As you walk through, you notice everyone is wearing these beautiful, like, coordinating cloaks. It looks like what they've done is taken, like, a branch of leaves and splayed the leaves outward so that when it grows out into a beautiful cloak.
That's cute.
It is very cute.
I don't like seeing everyone wearing identical things.
It's rainy sometimes here, so it's just, they're all wearing just similar looking practical raincoats, cloaks.
And that sort of uniformity does not imply anything else, I'm sure.
I can't think of a single thing it would imply. It's just like racking my brain over here.
That's always friendly, actually.
They're very friendly.
They seem friendly. Yeah, I've been through this multiple times in different towns, and I think it's almost become... Constance has never been good at social interaction, and I think at this point it's gotten even worse because she's had a very similar disappointing social interaction over and over again and nothing else in between, and it's become a bit gamified in a way that's like not helpful.
Yeah.
But it's sort of the game of how fast can I get through them saying they don't know who Viv is.
Yeah, it's like you've gamified it, except every time you lose. Still.
I lose every time. But the win condition is like, how quickly can we get through it? You know? We get faster every time as I drop more and more social pleasantries.
Yeah, you're going for a speed run here. Any percent.
So I think that's what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna look for, I guess they're all dressed kind of the same. I wanna go for somebody who is older. I definitely don't want to be asking any like children or teenagers or anything like that. I'm not necessarily looking to find like...
I imagine at some point you did. You were like, maybe that's the secret. Maybe Viv is like a spirit that only the young can see.
Only the children know.
Like a unicorn.
Yeah, an imaginary friend situation. I'm not necessarily looking for like the leader of the town or like the elder or anything. Just somebody who is older. Yeah, that's really it.
I think a person who would stand out to you would be I guess you actually wouldn't really know what they are. They're just sitting on a porch in an old rocking chair, not wearing a cloak, and just sort of sitting back, rocking, smoking something sweet in a pipe.
When you say I don't know what they are, can you elaborate on that?
That was an Amelia problem. That's not a thing. Is because they're like a human-ish person. Right. They're as human as anyone else is. We already did the thing. It was because I was about to say their profession, but then I realized they can't really do their profession as well. So you wouldn't really get it, because in my mind I was like, oh, well, they'd be doing this thing on the porch. And I'm like, well, actually, now that I think about that, the things you need to make that thing aren't really anymore. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. I thought maybe there was some sort of monster.
No, I can see how you would see that, and that was not my intention. That one's a little on me.
Yeah, no, you're perfect and I love you. I will march up to them with purpose, with intent.
Yeah, they're just sort of leaning back in their chair. Wish I had a pipe right now.
Yeah, so you can pretend, Zeus.
Yeah.
Do some make-em-ups. I'm just gonna walk up onto their porch.
Yeah, they don't seem bothered. They don't seem bothered by it.
But yeah, pretty forward under them. Do you know where Viv is?
No.
Do you know a Viv?
I do not.
No Viv at all?
No Viv at all. Do you know anything about Viv?
Their name is Viv. And they're south.
Of?
Where I was before, which was north.
Seems like you're headed the right direction.
Maybe. Anything weird around here?
Other than the usual, and then sort of gestures, and
We have the same conversation.
yeah, you have that thing. This time, the thing he gestures at is I'm gonna think of something fun. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
You see a chicken with like 3 heads.
Was that intentional?
Kind of. Not from me. This particular breed of chicken just does that now. If you try to, it just grows 2 more back.
You made a Hydra chicken.
I suppose. Well, I didn't. The teens over there, they get a kick out of it.
Of course. It's always teenagers.
Yeah, I made 1 Hydra chicken, and that was enough for me to stop. Really.
Yeah, fits very respectable.
What are you hoping to find with this Viv?
Answers mostly. But it's fine. If you don't know who that is. Nobody else has so far, so I will just keep going south.
What are you gonna do when you find him?
Ask questions.
May I ask what about?
I don't know if you may.
All right, then I won't.
This is a silly place to use it. I do want to feel this person out because I'm instantly paranoid.
Yeah, go for it. Say what you want clarity about and either answer what feels welcoming on the surface or what feels dark or unnerving when you peer deeper.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to answer one and you'll answer the other. Yeah. What I'm looking for clarity on is just, I want to know why they want to know. Like, it's just, who's asking, you know?
Yeah.
I think being around so many new people who don't have any idea kind of what my deal, not that I know what my deal is.
Right.
But I spent, my young life around people who learned what my deal is as I did. And then I spent 9 years being a fucking witch of local folklore.
Yeah.
And now I'm around all these new people. And so I think anytime somebody gets a little bit prying at all, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Right, yeah.
What do you notice about me that's making you ask this question?
Situation again.
Yeah. Is this be a situation or do I need to get the fuck out of town?
Yeah. This guy totally wants to eat your face.
No! I need that.
No, you don't.
So I guess I'll say what feels like. Should I say what feels welcoming here, or do you want me to tell you what I think feels unnerving?
You can do either one.
I'll say what feels unnerving, just because I jumped on this from a paranoid angle.
Sure.
And I think the thing that's unnerving is just that somebody is calmly asking me about my intentions and my plans.
Yeah.
And people don't do that. To me.
Yeah.
Even new people generally.
No, this is abnormal.
No, my vibes are bad, and I know it.
Yeah.
People don't want to talk to me. And so that to me signifies that either something about me has changed and I wasn't aware, or something about this person is different because they're trying to prolong the conversation.
Yeah.
Even when I have tried to stop the conversation. That is unnerving to me.
Okay. In that case, I will tell you what feels welcoming on the surface.
Yeah.
You are probably hyper aware of how people look and move when they interact with you.
Yes.
You are always looking for something that sticks out, an anomaly, and you don't tend to find it. I will say that when you approached him, he did seem a little caught off guard, perhaps had a little bit of that reticence that you would typically experience. There's a couple things that also feel welcoming. One, this guy is basically just smoking fantasy weed.
Love.
He's a little high right now, not super stressed. Two, there's nothing, not like when you sort of like looked into Pia where you felt this weird vibe.
Sure.
What you're experiencing and why it feels so unnerving is just a complete stranger who has just a genuine compassion for you as someone who seems a little bit lost, and they are trying to help in whatever way they can. But as you sort of came into this town, you noticed that everyone kind of had that weird vibe around them that people do when they start wearing matching outfits.
Right.
And, you know, you get the sense that this guy might be maybe a little bit lonely in his own way, too.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that after I finished my game, I did want to ask him about the cloaks. I got distracted by him being too nice to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so and when you tell him he can't ask any more questions, he's like, he backs off.
Fair, my bad.
Yeah, I didn't like. Yeah.
Yeah, which is honestly so calming.
Yeah.
It's that instant relief when you tell somebody no and they don't press you anymore. And then you're like, okay, well, actually, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were going to be cool. I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I forgot about the cloak thing. I truly did instantly.
Yeah. You were so caught up in the euphoria of someone giving a shit about you that you lived in a world where weird cults didn't exist.
I was so caught up in someone acting like I'm not a weird harbinger.
Yeah.
Okay. I said I'm not sure if you may ask any questions.
Yeah.
And he backed off. And then I guess I just sort of peer at him for a moment.
And he kind of doesn't lose your gaze, but it's just a little puff some smoke.
You aren't wearing one of the cloaks.
No, I am not.
Everybody else is.
I think they look silly.
They do.
Yeah, it's just not really my style.
Why is it everybody else's?
There's a lot of uncertainty, and I suppose people like something that they can believe in.
Matching cloaks?
Matching cloaks, matching ideas. The world got very different very quickly, and that can be scary.
Didn't get that different.
Looks over and you see a three-headed chicken pecking at the ground at like, you know what like a rat king is? It's like that but with earthworms.
Gross.
And he looks down at that. You go back to the convo. It's different enough.
Sure.
But I mostly keep to myself, and I've been around long enough that that sort of thing doesn't appeal to me.
Not religious?
Not in that way. Are you?
Unfortunately.
I mean, there are worse things.
Eh.
Depends on the gods you believe in, and the gods that believe in you.
Who's running the religion, then, with the cloaks?
Oh, it's not a god, it's just a guy. I mean, maybe, I don't know how all that stuff works. Maybe if enough people believe in him, but just a fancy, smooth talker.
Where is he?
Somewhere in town.
would you be able to direct me better than that?
Look, you're looking for real answers. What do you think? Who do you think this Viv is? You think they're caught up in religious?
I think it's a god. Probably a pretty big one. It was a smaller one who sent me after them, so probably. And I'm really looking for something, so if you've got a weird cult leader here, yeah, I have to check.
I think I might have something a little bit better.
All right.
And he pulls out a gold coin.
Oh.
I actually had a gold coin. I don't have it in my hand. It's upstairs.
Devastating.
Yeah. He pulls out a gold coin and extends it out to you.
What do you want?
I'm giving you the coin.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna follow. You're gonna go to the center of town. Gonna go west.
Mm-hmm.
There's a trail that leads into the forest. Despite the overgrowth, you'll be able to find it.
Is it overgrown?
It is,
Okay.
but there's a lot of rocks and things, and it is
Got it.
well maintained.
Oh,
Very well maintained.
somebody's property?
Something like that.
Are you gonna get mad?
I imagine not.
Okay.
Follow that trail. You'll find a well. If you're looking for answers, if you're willing to pay for them, it's gonna cost you a little bit more, probably.
Isn't that what you gave me the coin for?
Coin is an introduction.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Is it dangerous?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably won't hurt you if you don't try and hurt it.
Probably. Okay, no, I just wanted to know.
No.
That's
yeah.
all.
Sorry I can't be of more help.
No, it's okay. I will go find the well and meet something.
If they're in the mood.
Okay. Would you actually, and I'll pull the rosemary out of the little holster, and I will so hesitantly hand it to this guy.
He senses your hesitation and looks at it and kind of immediately sort of clocks the nature of this plant and says, well, I'll be damned.
I don't want to take it somewhere dangerous.
Kind of squints looking up at you. I'll keep it safe.
Thank you. I will be very upset if I come back and it's dead.
It's been a while since I've had to work at keeping something alive, but I'll do my best.
It doesn't need that much water. I should be back soon.
It's rosemary.
Right.
It'll be fine.
I should be back soon.
Yeah.
If I'm not, don't let it die.
Okay. You have my word.
Okay. I will scurry off.
You scurry off. So as you head kind of, to the middle of town, then you take the thing west, you can hear this town leader talking about the power of abundance, of belief and faith. If we act well, if we tend to the garden of life, it will be running over eternally. We can find ourselves within the tapestry of life. And you look at this guy and you've never been more certain of someone just being a guy.
This is the most dude
This is the
I've ever
most
seen in my life.
guy who's like just the equivalent of a like podcast bro trying to tell people how to get rich.
Okay.
Like it's not lost on you the fact that he's teaching about like the nature of abundance and prosperity, and all these people are bought into it when literally that is the only thing going on in the world.
Right. You actually don't need to do anything to get that right now. This is sort of already happening. Yeah.
But yeah, you do see that as you head into the woods.
Into the woods.
Yeah, and you notice this path is rocky. It actually seems like more sort of rocks have been kind of placed on top to mitigate the problems of growth. It is dark. The trees have grown, kind of just keep growing taller over time. They're not, I mean, even a tree growing fast is still pretty damn slow, but this has been probably months. So you're kind of used to the nature of things being a bit dark and unnerving, as the lack of sunlight seems to not have deterred anything else. So you head inward along this broken, windy path, and you find yourself at a well. It is smooth stone. The plant life seems not to choke it down as it does everything else around. There is a concentric ring of bricks in the ground that act as maybe some kind of ward in one way or another, where even in the cracks between them there are not weeds. The well itself is beautifully maintained, smooth gray stone, deep dark oak, and a lacquered sort of top. Whatever bucket belongs to this well is far down, sturdy hempen rope, and you have a single gold coin.
I do want to figure out more about this well.
Yeah.
Can I bring up the bucket?
There's a crank that you're able to turn, and you pull it up, and you see a beautifully ornately carved bucket. Very well maintained.
Sounds trustworthy.
You're at a well, you're at a suspiciously clean and well-kept well.
Did it bring up any water? Or is it like dry?
It's dry.
Okay. It's not what wells are for.
Yeah, I mean, you could try putting it down and putting it lower and see if you hit water. You just pulled it up from wherever it was.
I did. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you have time.
Who's rushing me right now?
Literally, who's rushing? You've been kind of wandering for months, going from town to town.
I'm alone.
You've been moving through things pretty quickly, but that's less because you're on a specific, I mean, you kind of are in the general sense, things are getting weird, but also you're just like, this is so boring, I want to get through this as soon as possible.
I have to keep going.
This is kind of interesting, at least.
Yeah, there's something going on here.
Yeah, so you lower it down and down, and at first you realize, not hitting water, this is going really low, and suspiciously low for not hitting water. And then you realize, there should not be this much rope on this bucket.
Yeah, like I've been going longer than it makes sense for the rope that I've seen.
And you probably realize that more after you're like, wow, this is a really long time to not hit water. And you're like, wait, how much rope?
Crazy how we haven't hit groundwater yet. Okay. Well, that gets boring after a little bit.
Well, that gets boring after a little bit.
Yeah. This is a well and it gets boring. I guess I gotta bring it back up.
Yeah, you bring it back up.
I've deduced that the well is wrong.
You have the beauty of God Killers that you don't even have to roll dice to figure that out. You can simply look at a well that is wrong and know that.
I simply know it. Here's something about recognizing a god as far as the move goes, is that you can also use it to recognize the signs or influence of a god.
Okay.
I'd like to see if in this space I'm like god shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm already like,
There's weird shit happening for sure.
Yeah.
No one can question that.
and it's usually
It's definitely not that guy in the city.
right. That's just a dude.
That's so true. That's just a dude.
That's a dude who saw that the whole world was full of life and abundance and went, I think I can do something with this.
I think you can profit off this somehow.
I can make a business out of this.
Yeah.
But this well is weird.
Yeah.
And I think immediately I want to try and deduce if that's God
Yeah, go
stuff.
for it.
Let me just grab 2 dice from here. Looks like we're gonna get a rubber duck. Love that for me. It's a 10, baby. Ooh, and
We
we have
gotta
to.
ask you things.
So true. Am I in or near the domain of the god I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Am I familiar with the gospel of the god?
Nah.
Would it be bad if I didn't know this was a god?
I don't think so.
Great. It's an 11.
That's
then.
an 11, an overkill.
Fuck.
You got it. Ha ha ha.
Ah. I'm sorry I'm good at dice.
Yeah. Get well soon. You're just so good. It's just Constance's existence is just so off-putting that the dice are like, yeah, no. You actually are getting a bad grade in conversation and everyone is mad at you.
Fuck. My nightmare.
Yeah. So as you're kind of looking around, fuck, I have to do a voice. Did you drop the coin in the well? No. No, you just
I still have it. I'm just kind of moving the bucket up and down, looking around at the wards, thinking about the rope. Sort of letting whatever aura I have that I've become increasingly aware of since talking with Pia, sort of just letting it wander around the space. Sometimes you realize that your whole life you've had a leash on something that you didn't know had teeth. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, what if I let it walk around?
Yeah, what if I just let my freak flag fly?
Just like that song from Shrek the Musical. You're so right.
Sure.
There's a song sung by all the fairy tale creatures in Shrek the Musical, where they all sing about letting your freak flag wave. It's a whole ensemble piece.
Is it like a metaphor for homosexuality?
It kind of sounds like it when they're singing it, but I don't think that's what they mean.
Amazing.
Unless there's more subtext about Pinocchio than I caught on to.
No, we can't get into that. Yeah, sure. It's just like whatever happened there in Shrek the Musical.
Yeah, I'm letting my aura wander about the space.
You're letting your aura wander about the space, and you do not know what the consequences of that are because you've never done it before.
It always sounded like a bad idea.
Yeah. You hear a twig snap and rustling behind you.
I let my aura further into this space. I think if at any point I've realized how to weaponize the thing that seems to make me unsettling.
Yeah, it's an impending sense of doom is basically what you're projecting.
Sort of when people are around me, they do feel their demise approaching them quickly, and it's weird that happens.
And it's not only unsettling because it feels like their impending demise, but it is also mixed with that sort of peace that people
comes at the end.
That is also unsettling, especially if you're not presently dying, to be so aware of your mortality and the fact that you will have to one day accept it whether you want to or not.
Yeah. If I've learned how to weaponize that at all, I'm gonna make it go bigger when I hear something approaching me.
You make it go bigger. And you hear a voice coming from behind you saying, "Now what are you?"
I am going to make no attempt to be more pleasant to be around. I'm going to try and maintain just as bad to be around and not turn towards whatever that is. I want to be unsettling in this moment. And I'm going to break all the rules I know for how to be better in conversation, like looking at people when you're talking to them. And I'm instead going to keep just looking at the well. And I'll just say, Constance Gable.
And what might you be doing here, Constance?
I heard there was somebody at this well who maybe could help me.
And what exactly are you doing with all this?
All this?
Yeah.
Don't have much on me. Gold coin. Thought I'd make an offering.
You're telling me you don't know exactly what you're doing right now?
I was gonna make an offering.
I can feel it. I don't particularly care for it.
Okay.
Well, could you make your offering or piss off then?
I'll flick the gold coin into the well.
All right. You made your offering.
Is it you?
Is what me?
The thing at the well.
Well, I'm at the well, aren't I?
I am also at the well.
So is it you?
No.
Well, then I guess it must be.
I will turn to look at the guy.
Yeah. You see this guy just standing outside the tree line, arms crossed, looks exasperated, annoyed at you. A very nice pinstripe suit, hair slicked back, kind of looks post-eye roll, if that's something that you can see.
Yeah, it's in the energy.
Yeah. Just staring at you with disdain.
That's fine. I did it on purpose this time. And you are?
Who wants to know?
Constance Gable.
Constance Gable. You're a strange one, Constance Gable.
So I've heard.
Yeah, I'm sure you hear that a lot, don't you?
Not so much these days. I don't talk to people anymore, but before.
Made an offering. That can get you an introduction, that's fine. Caius.
Caius. What do you do?
I help people who need it.
Oh, excellent. I'm looking for Viv.
You're looking for Viv.
I'm looking for Viv.
Interesting. Might I ask why?
I need something.
What do you need?
Answers.
Don't we all?
Do you have questions?
I would like to know what you want with Viv. Viv is a close associate. And I'd rather not invite anything untoward. Like that nasty presence you've been sort of projecting around here.
Trying to decide if I continue to act like I don't know what he's talking about. Is it more unsettling to act like I don't know what he's saying? Probably. Is it very clear that I do know what he's saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll rein it in. I'll rein it in. I'll get it away from him.
Yeah.
He stops visualizing his own death.
Yeah.
I'll put it back. But I will just continue the conversation. I need answers so that I can fix things.
Fix things. That's a very noble pursuit.
My garden's gotten out of hand.
Yeah, everyone's garden has.
I don't like it.
What do you intend to do about it?
I don't know yet. It depends why it's broken.
And you think Viv is going to help you fix that?
I don't think anybody else can.
Have you met Viv?
Not yet.
Interesting. Well, we are in a very interesting position, you and I. I have information that you want. And I think I know enough about you. I'm not really sure if there's anything you can offer me.
I already gave you my only gold coin.
That bought your introduction.
Yeah. Well, if you don't help me, I can never explain to you what my deal is.
I don't think I really care.
Not even a little?
Not even a little. There are a lot of interesting people who wander in and throw coins in that well. But I'll tell you what. Let's say I give you the information. And she should find the information to be useful. Only if you find the information to be useful, and I'll know and you'll know. You can just owe me one.
You just want a blank check favor.
Just a little favor.
A little favor.
A favor of the exact magnitude and importance that this information will be for you.
You want me to set you up with a conversation in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
You agree then?
Find it interesting that that would be your terms when you don't find me interesting.
No more nor less interesting than anyone else who wanders through here. I find everyone, no matter how young, old, mortal, otherwise, has something useful to offer, even if they don't know it yet, even if I don't know it yet. And I'm not about to squander an opportunity just because I don't know how it will pay out.
You tell me where I can find Viv. At some point in the future, I will set you up with a conversation that is within my capabilities.
Absolutely. I would never ask for something I wasn't entirely sure you could handle.
I don't believe that.
I don't make a habit of lying.
I don't believe that either.
All right. I give you this information. In the future, you give me a conversation.
Deal.
And as you shake Caius's hand, you feel an energy sort of reverberate from your hand through your body, almost like electric shock a bit. Not as painful, not as intense. But there's a gravity to the deal that you have just struck that you have never felt before.
You're just a god, right? You're just a god?
What else would I be?
I don't know. I just had to check.
Very astute. And Kai sort of looks you up. So you're looking for Viv?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll want to start heading south.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cave. Deep within... well, I can show you on a map. It would probably be easier.
I don't have a map.
We can find a map.
Okay.
It's quiet. Nothing there lives. Does Viv know you're coming?
No.
Does Viv know you?
I don't think so.
Interesting. Well, they've been preoccupied these days.
With all the...
Yeah, with all the...
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Viv is?
God.
Yes. Good. Do you know Viv's domain?
No.
All that gives life.
Oh.
Everything living, everything here, all them. It all feeds into them, it all flows out of them. And I suppose you're going there to ask them to...
Oh, I just want to know why this is happening.
All right.
Because then I can figure out what to do about it. I prayed to them a lot. If they're all that gives life.
A lot of people do. A lot of people are alive. Some more than others.
Think that'll get me any favor?
I think it'll get you something.
Okay. It's more than I get with most people.
I can imagine that.
You have something to say about my social graces?
Nothing to say at all.
I didn't think so.
All right. You go to a lonely cave. Viv wants to speak to you, Viv will. If they don't, they won't.
Do I still owe you?
Yes, I gave you the information.
If I don't see them, I will never know that it was correct information.
I follow through on all of my deals.
You said if the information turned out to be helpful and correct. If I don't see them, if they refuse to see me, I'll never know. That's not a deal not followed through. That's perfectly to the letter. You set the rules, you will follow them. If I don't get my conversation, you don't get yours. I didn't set it up that way.
No, you didn't. You are very certain of how the world works.
Someone has to be.
Wow, and I thought I was arrogant. Go find Viv.
Do my best.
And don't come around here again.
Okay. Did you know there's a cult in the next town over?
Yes?
Did you do that?
No. Well, don't worry about it.
I'm gonna go get my rosemary back.
Go get your rosemary back. You leave. After masterfully navigating that social interaction.
I think he got more mad at me than I got at him.
He did get mad at you than you did at him.
I got to have fun in a conversation for once.
Yeah, and all you had to do was actively make someone mad at you.
Turns out, kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New lore for Constance. Making people mad at me, kind of fun.
Kind of fun when you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's better than making people accidentally scared of you.
Yeah.
We learn something new every day.
We learn something new every day. New hobby for Constance.
Hey-o. I am proud of her.
Yeah. You leave.
Yes.
He didn't hand you a map or give you anything.
Fuck. He told me not to come back. Too.
He told you not to come back. And as you you think that and you turn around, that pathway to that well is no longer there.
Got rid of his entire sidewalk.
Yeah, he's like, you're not coming back.
Not
here,
coming back.
I hate your vibes. I don't like what's going on.
Everybody hates my vibes. You're not special.
You were actively projecting negative energy. It wasn't just your regular vibes.
Correct.
You showed up to this man's house and said, feel death.
Yeah, I put my bad vibes all over his house and I put my fingers all over his well.
Yeah.
And I got what I wanted, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah. So you head back to your play. You don't have a map.
Yeah. Looking for caves now, though.
Yeah, you go back and your rosemary plant, it's been like, I don't know, maybe a couple hours or so. It hasn't been that long.
It's not been long.
It's not been long. And old man kind of looks surprised. He goes, oh, that was very quick.
Was it supposed to be longer?
It's fine. No, well, you just, gave me a plant to take care of and keep alive, and you were gone for a couple hours. So I guess
And it's alive.
Yeah, and it is indeed.
Good job.
Hands it back to you, and he says, oh, and some man dropped this off for you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. He seemed nice enough.
He's not. Is it marked? Do I have a map? Mm-hmm. Lovely. That's very funny. He's not gonna come find me and hand it to me.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to you, and he kicked you out and realized I do have to follow up on my part of the deal, and I'm going to because he keeps his deals.
That's right. And so do I probably. I've never made one before.
Yeah, you can choose to not keep this deal with Caius. Yeah. That'll turn out really good for you.
I bet it would go well.
It would go really well. You should do that.
Yeah, and maybe I will. We'll see.
Yeah.
I take my plant back from the old man, and I put her safely in a little holster.
Yeah, it's such an average rosemary plant.
It's my best friend.
Your best friend, the average rosemary plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're saying that. Like, she's not beautiful and impressive.
I mean, she looks like a regular rosemary plant looks.
She looks like my best friend. And I put her in her little holster. And I just start walking away.
Yeah.
I forget to say goodbye. I realize later that I forgot that part.
And Constance doesn't know, but we as the audience do know that he is kind of fine with that.
Good. I do feel bad about it.
Yeah, Constance will feel that forever.
I will constantly be looking back on that interaction and be like, that man hates me. I'm never going to see him again.
Yeah.
But if he ever sees me, he's gonna yell at me.
I have a funny thing to say, but I'll wait for the verbal component.
You're gonna forget by the time you remember.
No, I'll remember. We have to remind me, but I'll remember.
You want me to just remind you that you said you have a funny thing to say?
About this old man.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you follow this little map.
Yeah.
That takes you down, down, down. Yep. You're just walking.
I'm following.
You're following. Actually, this is a good point to check in. How does Constance feel now? You have a name, you have an identity of sorts, and you have a very particular location.
I kind of feel great.
Yeah.
I sort of feel really good. both because I have this information and also because I feel like I just won my first social interaction.
Yeah, no, as I've said multiple times, conversations are a thing that can be won and lost.
Can be won and lost and graded. And I feel like I just got a passing grade on this one.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was kind of lean into being a little monster.
Yeah.
Easy peas.
Great. New method of interaction unlocked.
Yeah.
You didn't realize that was an option before.
I didn't know that was an option because I had never tried. Feels like maybe something I shouldn't do to sort of all that gives life.
Okay.
But fun to have in the back pocket.
Fun to just keep it on the back burner.
So
at
fun.
a low simmer. And you know what? When we need to bring it up to a boil, it'll be ready to go.
It'll be there. But again, maybe not the aura that like people have told me.
Yeah.
Makes them feel like they need to quickly make peace with their own mortality around sort of life itself.
Yeah.
maybe not the vibe.
Maybe not the vibe.
Yeah. So feeling good.
Yeah. So you follow the map. Easy enough. Yeah, you are you're not like a brilliant genius person, but you know how, okay, you're not like the smartest person in the world. You're not an idiot. You're smart.
I do science.
You do science.
I do science experiments in my house.
Yeah. And you know how to read a map.
And I know how to read a map.
And what I'm saying is you are able to navigate there fairly easily.
Because I'm a brilliant genius.
Yeah, because you're the smartest person that's ever lived.
That's right.
You know how to grow plants.
Kind of.
And follow a map.
That's right.
And it leads you toward this small opening in kind of the outside of the mountains here are getting smaller and smaller as we head south. And it's probably not much bigger than a hill. But it's there.
Okay.
And as soon as you get to this opening, the map burns to cinders.
That was not specified at any point that the map was going to disappear. And I guess I didn't ask for a permanent map.
Yeah, you didn't even ask for a map at all. He gave you a map because he's so nice.
Yeah, because he's so cool and kind.
Yeah.
I think I like Kai.
Yeah. This is like all around great social interaction for Constance. Like probably the best you've had in maybe ever.
I think I like Kai.
Yeah, this guy's great.
Because I was entertained.
Yeah.
Would love to see him again someday. Do think he'll smite me where I stand.
Yeah. You love Caius, would love to interact. Caius does not want you near.
No, understandable. Neither does anybody else.
The light in him recognizes and does not honor the light in you.
So my map burns. But I'm where I need to be.
I'm
at the cave.
You're at the mouth of a cave.
And if it's wrong, then I don't owe him anything. He just sent me on like a month-long wild goose chase to a cave.
Which would be so funny.
Which would be so funny.
Which would kind of make you like Caius a little bit.
I already like him a little bit.
Like a little bit more.
I don't know.
You would hate that?
I think I like him because I got one over on him.
Oh, okay.
I think him getting one over on me, I'd be like, well, shit.
No, I hate this guy again.
I don't know.
You go into the cave, there's just a sticky note. It's like not even a huge cave, it's like 5 feet.
It's
and it just
so
says LOL.
You thought.
You thought.
I don't know. It could be playful or it could be, that's my arch nemesis now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm prepared for that possibility.
Yeah, sure.
I'm, a lifetime of disappointment prepares you for these things.
Sad.
But he had a lot to say about not going back on his deals and not lying, even though I do think that's wrong.
I don't think he lies.
It's very possible he doesn't lie, and that's one of his things. However, don't believe him.
You don't believe him for a second.
Not at all.
But he's one of those guys who only tells the truth, and his best friend is standing at a gate by himself right now.
He abandoned his best friend, the second guard at the gate.
Yeah.
What a monster. That guy's gonna be lonely forever. You can't just find guys who only tell the truth.
Yeah.
On the street.
No, because a lot of them actually only sometimes tell the truth and are in fact lying.
Yeah.
And like a guy who sometimes tells the truth and sometimes lies, useless for guarding a gate.
It's most guys. It's just not helpful. It's not special. It's not helpful. It's not.
This is an actual play.
And I'm actually playing in the space with you.
And
Do not step out of my sandbox.
I love being in this space with you.
Grab a shovel.
Wait.
Dig.
No. That was aggressive. I didn't like that.
I can't. There we go. This is why we need to never
I felt
be in
like
the same
Stanley
space.
Yelnats.
I fucking lost. We'll find that card later. That card's gone. I would like to enter a cave.
Roll for cave. You don't have to roll.
2.
You don't have to roll.
You asked.
It was
I got
joke.
a 2 for cave.
You got a 2 for cave.
I have a 6.
So you head into the cave.
Hey.
And you head into the cave. And it's a pretty like narrow, winding passage, as you know how caves are formed. So I don't need to go into
Water and stuff.
Yeah, water and stuff. It moves through over a very, very long period of time. Yeah, this one's definitely a water one, though.
Probably some wind also at some point.
No, just water.
Okay. My bad.
It's but as you go in through a narrow, winding path, you note that soon after the mouth of this cave, it becomes very rocky. There are no living things in here. It is the first time you've experienced a real quiet in the months that have followed since everything stopped dying. It has been, even in the most quiet moments, overrun with noises of life. Insects, birds, hawks, wolves, anything.
So many types of animals.
So many types of animals. Three main types. And in here, you're alone with your thoughts, headed toward what you know to be all that gives life. It is pitch black. And yet somehow, you can see in a way that you maybe never noticed before. You've not experienced cave dark, where your eyelids are darker than the black of the sky. But you know your way around. And there is an echo of something familiar to the very core of yourself here. And you walk. At some points, it gets low, you have to crawl. You're a very small, slender person. You can very easily shimmy your way in and around these cracks, just like that. And you make your way further and further inward. It takes a long while. You're essentially splunking for hours. You're not really sure how tall or how deep you're going. Some points just hitting what you think might be a dead end, stopping. You can push through areas where there seems to be a cave-in. It is difficult, but never impossible to get through. And you see a crack of light.
Is it reachable if I just continue forward?
It is about 30 feet up. It's not an entirely vertical wall, but it is steep.
Well, if you want to get someone's attention in their house, there's a polite way to do it.
There is a polite way to do it.
I'd like to knock on the wall.
You knock on the wall.
Like I'm knocking on their front door.
Yeah.
Just a few polite.
You knock. Silence. And then a rumbling. As you look up at that crack, knock a few times, you step back a little bit, expectantly. And you see that area where your knuckle hit the stone. You see a tiny little fissure form.
It's a weak cave.
And it grows and extends up vertically, up until there's a thin crack of white extending jagged up toward that initial slit, bathing you in a cool white light, incredibly bright for where your eyes have adjusted, and yet it doesn't hurt. And once it reaches that other glint in the cave, you hear the crack expand like a Lichtenberg figure in every direction, finding the path of least resistance, and the wall itself entirely crumbles. And you are looking into a cavern.
Did I get squished by rocks?
No.
Nice.
So as this happened and you step back, the rocks of this cave, as this surprisingly brittle or thin wall collapses down, very conveniently did not really collapse inward toward you. It was almost like there was a facade on the outside of a wall, and it just crumbles down into this large cavern. It is unusual in that you see the sky. Yes.
I've never been in a cave before. Do I know it's unusual?
Yeah. Haley, have you ever been in a cave?
No.
Do you, from what you know about caves, them being underground, do you think you see the sky in them?
Well, I've been in this cave for a very long time. It is possible that I've just tunneled to outside of a cave.
Yeah, perhaps. Okay. You have been pretty aware of the fact that you've been going downward.
Okay, so that does maybe throw some water on that theory.
Yeah. Okay. It's a weird sky.
Gotcha.
And there, you don't see the sun, I will say that.
Okay.
In the sky. Maybe some light cloud coverage, nothing huge, just some wispy whatevers. Cumulostratus, I think, are the wispy ones. I don't remember.
That sounds right. I do believe you.
The cumulo ones are high, though, so I think that we're not going to get into it.
No, we can't.
Maybe they're just stratus clouds. Nope, those are storm clouds, not those.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Tornado.
Nope. Just, I think cirrostratus. I'm going to look it up right now. I know it's not important, but I do need to know.
We need to check with the site.
I can't have another goats thing. People are going to know I don't know shit about goats.
And what'll that do to your brand?
Yeah, okay, it is cirrostratus. That's what I was thinking of. Thank fucking God.
You're so good at clouds.
I'm like, okay at clouds.
You're so good at clouds.
This isn't a self-confidence thing. I'm pretty sure this is just an accurate reflection of my abilities at clouds.
You're probably a cloud scientist.
Okay. Well, as a cloud scientist, these are cirrostratus. You look down and there is not a clear way of getting to the ground. I said this is a massive cavern. It is probably about 100 feet as you look out onto what would be similar to the jungle outside, except it all looks normal.
Like it's not all overgrown and...
No, it's regular growth. I mean, it is very lush.
Sure, a verdant jungle.
In the middle of a cavern in a cave.
Standard, yeah.
But it is, it's what you would consider normal about 8 months ago or so.
Right. Okay. Is there anybody coming to yell at me for breaking their wall?
No.
Okay. Is there any animals here?
Yeah. You don't see any immediately. You can hear bird song.
Sure.
There's some ambient chittering insects, those sorts of things.
I guess... Again, I hate calling out for people. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
And I don't intend to. I guess I just start looking?
Yeah. I mean, you are about 100 feet up from the ground. You're mostly looking up over trees. You can kind of see a sky. Like if you're looking a little toward the side of this cavern wall, it's kind of hard to see when it just becomes the blue sky. It's almost as if, this isn't what's happening, but it's almost as if the wall had been painted blue and then just evaporated into an atmosphere.
That's fun.
This top part.
What if I just want to jump?
You could jump.
What if would you call that? Okay, what if? What if I just sort of announce my presence and that I'd like to not fall to my death?
Okay.
And just sort of hope that works
Yeah.
and do a little bit of tempting of fate
Okay.
to maybe not die.
Yeah, let's tempt fate.
Okay, so when I tempt fate with my actions, say what perilous feat I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to jump quite a distance without breaking all of the bones in my legs and body.
Yeah, 100 feet. Unless you're going at an angle, based on how far you could jump, it would be 100 feet, 8 feet. I could get out a calculator and do some geometry.
I don't think that would help, I guess.
Yeah, you could go straight down 100 feet.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to get a little bit of a running start just for the
So you don't accidentally like hit into the wall or
hit
something?
the wall on the off chance there's something out there that can catch me. You know, give it a little bit of help. I get to roll 2d6 and add 1 for each true statement. So you let me know. Is a skilled ally lending me a hand?
Can you just roll a d6? I just kind of want to do like a little luck thing.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
6.
All right, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Confusing. The other one, you have no other options.
That's not even true at all,
Can't
and
be
you know
true at
that.
all. There's so many other things I could do here. You're far from any god that wishes you harm.
That is correct.
Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna roll my 2d6, and I'm gonna get. I already rolled this one, so now I can't roll it again. I'm gonna roll my 2d6 and add 2. Okay.
That doesn't count.
That's a 7 plus 2 is a 9. So that's a hit. I get through it mostly unscathed. The fates spare me for now.
For now.
So what does mostly unscathed mean?
Yeah, when you're dropping from 100 feet.
Yeah, I can't imagine that I'm...
Love how I get that as I'm talking. I did not realize that was going to be so loud. So sorry.
I like the fizz.
Was this whole thing fill in there?
No. You're gonna get potion everywhere.
I'm not going to get potion
You're gonna
everywhere.
get potion
You
everywhere.
never believe in my dreams.
I can't imagine I'm getting out of this with my body like 100% good.
No, so you jump down 100 feet in the air to the ground. How do you try to land?
Well, I announced my presence.
You announce your presence. So wait, what did you say?
Hello, my name's Constance Gable. I'm here for Viv. I'm gonna come down now. I'd like to not die. And then I jump.
And then you jump. You jump and you begin to sort of free fall.
Uh-huh.
And you have that initial moment of, that was real dumb.
That was a bad choice.
That was a bad choice. I don't even know if Viv is here. This is a giant ass cavern. I don't know if Viv can hear me.
Yeah.
And
I'm feeling too confident from my Caius interactions.
yeah, you had one good social interaction and you
now
think
I
you're
think I'm
invincible. Yeah. And as you're falling, a branch from a tree sort of whips out underneath you, and you crash into it. And then that happens again, and you kind of crash into it, and it hurts, and there are splinters, and you are bruised. But each time it happens, it does slow you down a bit.
Okay.
Until eventually you're moving slow enough, and as you get lower, the branches are large enough that it sort of just gently, you fall down, and you're on the ground.
How am I looking strain-wise?
You did take a strain.
Did
You rolled
one.
well.
Okay.
You are covered in bruises, and there's a little bit of blood from the wood that's stabbing you.
Yeah.
But your bones are intact.
Bones intact is good. I try not to bleed in front of people, but I guess it's okay because I'm alone.
And you are, like, bleeding here. When in the outside world, any sort of wound can be either minor and entirely heal, or horrifying and heal bad.
Sure.
You've always healed pretty quickly in general, but here it's just kind of more, not normal, but like normal.
Oh, so like slower than I'm used to even.
Yeah.
Where I like bruised myself growing up.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Okay.
weird balance. It's like slower than you're used to, but still faster than what a normal person might expect.
Sure.
And certainly different from what has become normal in the past several months.
Sure. Okay. But I'm not dead.
You're not dead. The fates have spared you.
For now.
For now.
I just had to. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so confident. And I'm here. I'm where the map told me to go.
Yeah.
And there's no Viv. I'm alone in a jungle.
In its cavern.
In a cavern. I guess at this point I would like to recognize the signs of a god.
Yeah.
Like I feel pretty good about it, but I'd like some confirmation.
You are in or near their domain, and you are familiar intimately with their gospel.
I'm familiar with their game.
Yeah, so you can add 2 to this.
That'd be 7 plus 2 gets me to a 9.
I wish it would be bad if you didn't know. It'd be so funny for you to overkill here. With a 9, I'll give you a clear interpretation of the omens, and then you get to ask a single follow-up question of your choosing, and I must answer honestly.
I broke my ring.
That's what happens when you overkill. That's what happens when you get it immediately. Something in the real life breaks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Do you?
We'll see. Yeah, so you are in this space. Very clearly, whether or not Caius lies about everything, Caius was telling the truth about this.
I love that for me.
You're very clearly in or near the domain of the god of that which life gives, or that which all that gives life. Interpreting this space, the version of life here is, in essence, a much more pure version of what life is supposed to be. As you look around, the plants here aren't perfect. There are imperfections. There are withered leaves, even. But things are following the rules that you know to be true. And you know that given this area and this size, And what loose things you know about gods from whatever errant stories your mother has told you. There's always a bit of a back and forth, and each one has their own kind of pageantry. Mm-hmm. How have you interfaced with the god of life in your own practice or with their domain?
It was never anything beyond my feeling like I was nurturing their domain and their cycle. There was never any sense of a connection beyond that, I don't think. I think it was just, it felt like what I was doing. And I have a very strong reverence for their domain and for what they do. But as far as interfacing, it's been very one-sided.
Yeah, it's mostly been you quietly keeping to yourself and gardening.
Yeah.
And you would know that much of the time, especially with gods that interface with mortals and other gods more directly, which have coalesced into personalities and personas and individualized beings, they tend to show you a face of themselves that they think would be the most useful for them to see, for you to see. So you can kind of take that as you will.
Okay.
But you also get to ask me a follow-up question of your choosing, and I must answer honestly as your GM.
As I'm recognizing the signs and the influence of divinity here and trying to figure out where the actual god is going to be, I guess the question is, does this place feel unsafe for me?
No.
Okay.
This place does not feel unsafe. This place feels odd to you for a few reasons. One, just the general that I mentioned earlier. It is abiding by rules which everything else has seemed to abandon. Two, there is something about the way this place is that is reacting to something inside yourself, that part of you that you've been digging into more recently. It's not bad, it's not hostile, but it is there and it is powerful.
Okay. So I don't feel unsafe. I feel maybe a little seen.
You get the sense that whatever is in here is also aware of the whatever is inside of you and that reaction as well.
Yeah. Ugh, it knows me better than I know me? That's not fair.
Well.
Okay. Then I guess, I mean, I know that I might not even be looking for something person-shaped, because gods can just be whatever they want or need to be in that moment. So it's probably not actually going to be useful to just sort of walk around and look for something like a guy. It could be.
It could be.
But that could also be entirely fruitless, and I don't know how big this place is.
Yeah. It's as big as it needs to be.
It's as big as it needs to be. I could pray. That has to work, right? If I'm in their spot?
I don't know. You could try.
I don't know either.
What does praying even look like here?
What does it look like here?
What does it look like for Constance to pray?
Well, most of the time it's the tedium of the nurturing. The one time it was just sitting down and asking anybody to listen, do nothing, unless that's what summoned Pia. And it might have been.
I don't know.
But I'm trying to specifically get the attention of all that life gives in life's domain. But I mean, there's not anything I can really do to nurture the life here right off the bat. I don't assume right around me. It seems like a perfectly functional little ecosystem.
I mean, yeah. The place that you were at was also a perfectly functional ecosystem.
Sure.
You brought something to that.
I did. I guess I will look for maybe like a bush nearby, and I can look for specifically like twigs that could get pruned, like looking for things to clear away to make new space, you know? Mm-hmm. Clearing away brush, pruning something, just cutting away or brushing away at the space to make room for new life.
Yeah. You do so easily. As soon as you think of it, you notice a bush with some withered leaves that need to just be cut away. Mm-hmm. You go from there, you see a flower that is trying to grow in a vine that seems to be choking out the nutrients from the plants, and you remove it. And you kind of do this and continue to sort of make your way. There's no path here. You're not going to a destination, but as soon as you get to one spot, fix something, you see another, you go there. There is, a bird trying to get at a worm in a hole, and sometimes you go and you kind of dig into this log a little bit so the bird has a better chance to grab the worm. Mm-hmm. Another time you take the worm and you put it in the ground elsewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe not with any particular rhyme or reason, but whatever feels right and feels balanced. Something else has to die for something else to live. At some point, as you wander along this little absent-minded journey of yours, you see a tiny little seedling. Incredibly picturesque. Mm-hmm. Like one little stem and a single leaf.
Yeah.
That is just in some very dry soil, struggling to grow.
Well, I could water the soil, or I could move the seedling to a different place that seems like it's better soil for it.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of things growing in this area?
Yeah, there are a few other things.
Okay. So it's probably an okay area, just maybe hasn't gotten enough rain recently.
Yeah, maybe it's just not suited to this. You could take it and transport it elsewhere. You could just pluck it entirely and something else will likely grow in its place. Well, you could water it if you wanted to.
It grew here.
It did.
There's a chance it could keep growing, especially if there's other things around here. So I guess I'll just, I probably have a canteen. Some sort of flask.
Yeah, you were also just going through a cave system, so you probably filled it up with really nice, clean cave water.
Crystal water.
Yeah, and there aren't, bacteria haven't been invented yet. They haven't been discovered, so you're fine.
Nobody knows about those yet.
Yeah.
I'll pour some of my water out. Just moisten up the area around it.
Yeah. Yeah, you do so. And the plant, it doesn't look any different. It's a plant.
Well, yeah.
The water.
It takes time.
Pools for a minute as it does with dry dirt, and then it soaks in. You head off to the next thing.
I pat it.
Yeah, you just kind of pat the top of the leaf and bounces.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since you did that instead of just moving, you pat the top, and as you start to move your hand away, the leaf sort of moves up with it. Mm-hmm. And as you stand there, crouched down from the seedling, it begins to grow. Oh. Tall. Immediately, you're raising your hand up with it. Do you keep your hand on top of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're reaching up, and to the point where you're just kind of raising your hand right above you. It gets about a foot and a half taller than you. You said you're 5'1", right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's probably a little bit less than that, a little over a foot. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of grows in this tall, spindly stalk. And then you see, almost growing around it and cascades up and outward, swirling around other similar thicker vines. And as these vines are kind of twirling up and around, it's getting pushed outward like a tree pushes outward growth with each ring, except instead of taking a tree-like shape as it does at first, you notice it sort of solidifies into a humanoid type figure. And standing before you is a person who initially looks to be made of bark, which then sort of settles into just a striated, skin-like appearance. Deep brown eyes. No hair, necessarily. Very tastefully cloaked in this sort of green sash of leaves that grows from them and down. And your hand is just sort of resting on top of their head with one little seedling sprouting out the top.
I will remove my hand.
You remove your hand. They look down at you. You have never had someone staring so thoroughly through you and been so certain that someone sees every single part of you, even the ones that you did not know existed. You've experienced many times your sort of aura and vibe projecting outward, making other people uncomfortable. And you've felt uncomfortable quite a bit of your life anytime you're around people. You're now experiencing what that feels like on the other end. There is just this presence that is like opposite, an inverse of whatever yours is, where you have this sort of thing that makes people uncomfortable and off-putting. This is the opposite to the extreme of like when people are too huggy and you don't know them and you're like, okay.
I will look up and say, you Viv?
I am.
That's good. That's who I was looking for.
Well, you found me.
It's good to meet you. My name is Constance Gable.
Constance Gable.
Prayed to you a bunch.
I've heard. You
Have
tend
you?
the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gardens. I just assumed.
No, I know them all, and especially yours.
It's just a garden. I mean, it's my garden.
It's your garden.
I love it.
I know. It's cute.
Okay. I came here for a reason.
I'm sure.
I had questions.
Yes, I have answers.
It's not like it is in here out there.
Oh, yeah. No, it's wild out there.
It's broken.
Yeah, sure.
Something broke.
Yeah, something changed.
What was that?
Well, things stopped dying.
Yes. Did you do that?
No.
Okay.
Did you?
How would I have done that?
I don't know. It's never been done before. I just figured,
Sort of just a unsettling guy with a garden.
Well, you're more than just an unsettling guy. You're a little godling.
No.
Yes. I think I would know.
'Cause you're a god.
Sure.
That would make it your expertise, right?
I mean, all that gives life. Something gave life to you.
Sure.
So you're...
You know my dad? You know who my dad is.
Yeah. We go way back.
Okay. Are you going to tell me?
Do you want to know?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does matter. What you want always matters.
Does it matter who it is?
Well, I guess that depends what you want from it.
I don't know.
I can't tell you.
That's not what I'm here for. I want to know what broke so I can know how to fix it.
I don't think anything broke. From my understanding, everything that's happening is entirely intentional.
You can break things on purpose.
Oh, sure.
So someone broke it on purpose.
Depends on how you're looking at it.
I'm looking at it like it's broken.
Well, you think it's broken. To someone else, it's working exactly how it's supposed to.
What I'm not gonna do is tell the God that they're wrong about how the universe works. What I'm not gonna do is that. But
Can't relate.
What I am gonna do is try really hard to not start immediately yelling at this God about how the universe works.
Okay.
It's not right.
And you know what's right and wrong for everything.
Things that live have to die.
Apparently not.
Things that live have to die.
No, apparently not.
It's not good out there right now.
It wasn't good beforehand.
It's worse.
Your opinion? A lot of people having a very fun time.
With the cults.
There are always
The
cults.
Hydra chickens.
Those are very entertaining to look at.
They're bad. The
They're
chickens are
fine.
having a bad time.
You don't know that. You haven't asked them.
Have you?
Yes,
And they're having a good time?
some of them. They don't really have the big philosophical
They had
hang-ups.
to get beheaded to become a Hydra chicken.
Well, they didn't like the beheading part.
I can't imagine. And if they didn't like the beheading part, if they had died, they wouldn't remember it.
Yeah, but they would be dead.
And now they have to live with the memory of being beheaded.
Yeah, lots of people live with lots of bad memories. You've had bad memories yourself.
I've never been beheaded.
I'd try it. Maybe it's fine.
I don't want to be beheaded.
This never been a better time to be beheaded than now.
I'm gonna go with I'd never want to be beheaded.
All right, suit yourself.
I'm gonna keep my head where it is.
That's fine. I'm not going to move your head.
What happened?
Everything stopped dying.
Why?
Someone decided they didn't want it to happen anymore. So they stopped it.
And I think somebody following logical steps would say that had to be you that made that decision.
Oh, I did not make that decision. Why would I make that decision?
Because you're in charge of things being alive.
Yeah, well, death has never stopped life before.
Right.
So why would I need to change anything?
That's what I'm confused about.
I didn't change anything.
So then what changed?
Death changed. Things stopped dying. I don't do dying. I do life. And now life is this, and now I do this, but I don't really like that everywhere, so I keep it as normal as I can here.
And ignore out there?
I don't ignore it. I watch it. It's very interesting. I have to keep an eye on things. Life is my domain. It's odd now, but I'm sure it'll sort itself out eventually.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Good on you. Someone's got to take care of it.
That's exactly.
Sure.
Someone's got to take care of it.
Yeah. And you've decided to care about this a lot.
Yeah. I care about this a lot. My garden is ruined.
I mean, your garden's never been more garden than it is now.
It's ruined.
Would you like to start one here? You can.
No.
You're welcome to come by anytime.
I want to go home.
And where's that for you?
That's not what I'm here for. Where do I go now?
Where's home?
That's not important.
It's important to me. It's important now.
Why?
These questions are very important. Where is home to you, Constance?
Garden, Viv, and it's ruined. I want to go home. And I can't. So where do I go? Because it's not you, I guess.
It's not.
I've spent months walking here. You were going to help me. I spent months walking here. You're not fixing it. It's broken. And it's your job.
It's my job.
It's your job.
That is not my job.
You're in charge of life.
In a way.
In a way?
It's my domain. I look after it. I can control certain things. Other things control me. It is a give and take that you are not yet familiar with, little godling.
It's your domain, then. And it's wrong. And if you won't fix it, I will. But you're going to help me because I don't know what to do now.
So what do you want me to do?
Tell me what to do.
I did tell you what to do. Actually, no, I didn't tell you what to do. Just get over it. There, that's what you should do.
Excuse me?
You should get over it. Look, I know you don't know a lot about yourself. You're going to be here for a while. Long, long while, I would presume, if you play your cards right. We don't really know how this will turn out. A lot of us are cautiously optimistic. If you burn your little heart out on every single thing that goes wrong, every god who overextends their domain, every tear in the weave, I've seen things that your mind would not comprehend, and maybe someday it will, but you are so incredibly young. You should save your strength for a war that actually matters.
There is nothing else that matters. This is the cycle of life and death.
Everything balances itself out eventually.
So help me balance it.
Why? It'll sort itself out. I don't want to get involved in what I think that might take. I frankly don't want to get in the middle of your politics.
I am not involved in politics.
You are.
I am a gardener.
Your very existence is off-putting.
From you and everyone else, that does not mean I can't fix this.
Maybe you can. So go fix it.
Help me.
Okay. Do you know what is happening here?
Things aren't dying.
Things aren't dying. Things were always living. They continue to live. What's happening here is me and my domain. It is what happens when you expand into a space that is already full. You haven't looked into it. I don't think you know how. None of it makes sense. Death has been removed from the equation, and all of this is the weave attempting to make sense of that. I can't bring about death. It is, and you are antithetical to my nature. I can take from death. I can transform it into something else. I can bring life, not bring the end. I cannot help you. I cannot tell you how to fix this. You will need to find death and take it up with him.
And why can't you do that?
Why can't I take it up with death? Because frankly, I don't really care and I don't really want to talk to him.
You know him.
Exactly why I don't want to speak with him.
You want me to go talk to another stranger, first off?
A stranger? You're an adult. It's fine. Trust me, he'd be more willing to talk to you than me.
I'm sure you guys have issues with each other, life and death and whatever. I'm an adult, you're a god.
You're the one with a problem. You're the one who wants to find a solution. So go, find death.
Go find death.
Yeah. He'll probably be looking out for you.
I don't want to go find death. I want to go home.
Death is home.
No, death lives in my home. Death invades my home. Death knocks on my door and invites itself in. That's my life, okay? But I don't have to go seek it out.
You don't. There's nothing keeping you from seeking out death, and yet you made months-long journey all the way down here because you feel its absence, and that disturbs you to your core. Death has invited itself unwanted into your life, and the very moment it stops, you seek it out. Little godling.
Don't call me that. You could have been fixing this for months, from the day it started. You knew who did it. You know what they need to hear. You could have been fixing this.
There is nothing they need to hear from me. This is not my problem to fix. We all play our parts. This is not mine. Death plays a part in your life. It always has. I'm surprised, though not entirely, that Lorraine never told you.
You don't get to talk about her. You do not get to talk about her. If you have something that you think I should know, you can tell me. You don't have to bring her into it.
Understood. I do apologize.
She kept her secrets. She had enough to deal with. I'm not a god, but I'm not stupid. I can follow the thread of a conversation. Who's Finnick?
I, along with a few others, no. We're told not to tell you.
So you're scared? There's something holding you back? Your life. You control the domain of life. You can't answer a question? You can't fix life when it's broken, and now you can't answer a question?
I know you're not interested in politics. There is a balance to these things. And I don't know if you've noticed, But when a god is powerful enough to disrupt the balance of the universe on a whim, I take great pains not to antagonize them any more than they're antagonizing themselves.
I need you to tell me. I can't do this next part if you don't tell me.
Finnick is a no-good layabout who travels from one fancy to the next, who has gotten increasingly spurious in their whims, and is the cause for quite a bit of the heartache that you've experienced in your past and now. And if you can somehow find Finnick in a world where death is absent, maybe you can go where we can't. And you can do something to make a change.
Any ideas on where to find him?
You can find death. Certainly haven't been able to make any meaningful ones since he changed things.
I'm very angry. And I don't even know if it's at you.
It can be at me if you want.
I think at least some of it is. I am very in control of myself. And so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to leave and I'm going to get far away. Because if I stay any longer, something is gonna happen. But you've been as helpful as you can be, I guess. And I don't like hurting people. So I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go. Because I don't know who leaves otherwise. And I hope I don't see you again. But after I fix it, I'm going to keep tending the garden. And you can take that however you want. It was good to meet you.
Viv looks at you with an expression you can't quite place. Just nods. And, I'm looking at...
I don't know if it counts.
You have confronted the god in its true form.
I have. I did confront a god in their true form.
You did. I'll ask you, what do you think their downfall is? If you get it...
Oh, what is their downfall?
Yeah.
I guess... You'd think it would be something related to their domain. But their downfall isn't death. Because they need death. And they're living without death. So that can't be right.
Right?
You would think.
You would think.
But it would make sense of maybe why they are weird with me.
Yeah.
So their downfall can't just be death because they need death.
They do.
their downfall can't necessarily be the absence of death, because that's what's already happening.
Right.
But it's got to be something in that vein, because this is life.
Correct.
And that might be as close as I get.
I mean, the absence of death isn't their downfall immediately. What is happening now cannot happen forever.
Right, because there's going to be a critical mass.
Yeah, and I think what you've realized is that it's not that they disagree with you. They just know they can wait it out and something is going to happen eventually.
Well, sure. Endless time and patience.
Right. But if someone like you doesn't do something, and if perhaps maybe specifically you, this eventually it consumes itself. Right. It's all Band-Aids, weird magic Band-Aids that are knitting themselves with every single instance of every living thing. Eventually this is going to collapse and it will be bad.
Yeah, I would say so. So it is the abundance of itself.
Yeah, it's life's downfall is everything that chokes itself out when it feeds on more resources and there isn't something to cull it back.
Yeah. It is the absence of death in the long run.
Yeah.
Life's downfall is its own excess.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It is. But if you would like to, I mean, you don't have to monologue in character, because I liked where you let that off.
Yeah.
But if you would like to use this as sparing a god.
I think this is sparing a god. There were many times in that conversation where I thought about doing a hit.
Yeah.
And I didn't do a hit.
You didn't inflict violence. Yay.
I wanted to do a hit pretty bad.
Right.
But I didn't do a hit because I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That goes against everything that I want right now. So that's how I'm sparing them. I'm turning around. I'm getting as far away as I can before I lose myself and I do a hit.
Yeah.
That is an 8. So that's a hit.
You roll so good.
Thank you.
They perform a single favor of your choosing. So I want you to tell me out of character what you would like life to do. I'm gonna frame this as sort of the universe doing it, because you kind of had your like, you're not gonna walk out another thing.
Yeah, and also, can I have a snack? No, I think favor of my choosing is I just want the knowledge of like the best place for a summoning to occur. Like I want the best chances of this to work. I just need a location that makes the most sense to kind of call this rendezvous. And I feel like life would be able to give me a pointer there.
As you say, you're walking away to go and get away from all this.
Calm down by the ocean.
Calm down. As you walk, you feel a sort of tug, like spiritually. And life does too. Viv feels this connection between the fundamental core of life that exists within Viv and death that exists within you. And you realize that as gods are the personifications of something, they are a host unto that. And there's something within you that you inherited that is a part of you and that has also chosen to find a place within you where those primordial spirits connect. And life says, there is a lot when it comes to the notion of familial relations, blood, divinity, those sorts of things. Nothing carries any meaning that you do not impart to it. That lies within you connects you to him. Honor that, and it will honor you. And that tug that connects you in death, in Viv, in life, dissipates.
I'm already turned around. I was already leaving. I paused to listen. I just give a thumbs up over my I don't even turn.
Yeah.
I cannot risk extending this conversation any longer. For the safety of everybody involved, myself included.
You go. You don't see a nod, but Viv nods, not gonna push it, just felt like they should give you that.
Yep.
You head out. You just walk in any direction, and as you're walking through the cave, you find yourself walking out in the jungle outside. Not really sure when exactly you made the connection from one to the other.
And I keep going.
And you keep going. And as you look to find death, that is where we will end. Woohoo! Yay! Are you having fun? Is Constance having a good time?
Constance is always having a good time.
All right, that's it.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 2 of Unprepared Casters Jacob's Ladder. I hope you loved it, and I hope you loved it enough that you want to listen to me and Amelia talk about it more in our talkback show, The Verbal Component. You can find The Verbal Component on our Patreon, patreon.com/unpreparedcasters. That's the name of the show. If you'd like to find more things about the show other places on the internet as well, you can find our Instantgram. We're at Unpreparedcasters. You can find us on Twitter. We're at Unprepcasters. And you can, of course, find us on YouTube. And you should be finding us on YouTube because this is a video arc at Unpreparedcasters over there as well. If you would like to wear our merchandise on your body, you can go to unpreparedcasters.com/shop. You be shopping. I be shopping. We all be shopping. You can find your real dad, Amelia Som, most places on the internet at Amelia Som, or you could also go to links.ameliasom.com because they are a fancier gentleman than I. If you wanted to find me on the internet, you could find me on TikTok at WhipJack, WHIP Jack. You could find me on Twitter at WhippedJack, WHIPPED Jack, and you could also find me on YouTube. I'm Haley WhipJack over there. And of course, I would never go without thanking our $15 and $25 patrons, the people who made it possible for us to sit in a room together and record this arc for you, our beautiful $15 and $25 patrons such as Bucket Master. Amalia might be 3 pixies in a trench coat. Beckles, Leaf Caliber, Jenny Waboom, Jennifer Wild, Rue, Dufinius, Oliver Neville, Martine MH, Sherman Manring, Fate Grady, Rachel Ann, Kyle Boniel, Alcyon Hero, Beetle the Bard, Aster, Pete Alexander, Celtic Lord of Mice, Ryan Meese, King Smiley, Tired Vi, Silas S, Demon Slayer 1, Legos Jedi, Trace of Silver. Gandalf the Gay, Elma Cochran, Poison Boy, Depresso Espresso, Jesse Dubin, Bridget Surdock, Primbono the Muso, Cal Neville, Andy Rowland, Andy, Courtney Danielle, Sierra, S.J. Giese, Lacewing Apologist, Abby Greer, Jade Crown, Cole, Aiden Sowood, Annie G, Mitherwine, Nicole, Mulvin Prime, Lucas Guerin, Cam Gasicki, Jack Simonium, Luminelli, Ellen Stanfill, Siobhan Delilah Rose, Tech Remnant, Stephen Odom, Marky Boy 15, Enchill, Steps of the Palace, The Kind Hammers, Juan Soto, Derek Rogers, Mary R, a concerning number of B's, Cassidy, also Dylan, Zach, South Space, Flinius, Mage 101, Zebby Lown, Charlie, Hollis, Eliana Pomnishi, Jack Lionheart, Cobra 111, DM Squared, Florin Forta, Remix City, Caroline Harden, David Lugerman, Alyssa Bryan, Happy Little Ghost, Sarah Lewis, Beardic Knowledge, Fungitor, TJ, Daddy Diabetes, Joey the Dynamo, Jordan Richardson, Guilty, Faye Nightshade, Tolly, AJ Downs, Nur, The Guy, Metarapina, Fluffy Socks, Landalich, Justin Friedberg, Yoshidas, The Emprix Mixar, Esker, Rachel Goodman, Justin, Faye Wild 42, Finch, Bex Rhodes, Andromedus Blackshire, Alan Beck, Rebecca Lawton, Ian Schwartz, Jane, Grimmy, Odd Pit Pat, Ian Strong, Caroline, Valerie Ann, Azula's Tale, Gabriel the Sorcerer, Lady Drew, Marigold Morrigan, Theodore Jam, AJ Bissinger, Dino Queen Jules,